How's it going, guys? Welcome back to TheBlueShifting and welcome back to Chuusotsu first graduation or whatever. I keep thinking I forget the tag line every time. But oh yeah, it's first graduation. Welcome back again. So last time we were here, it was really interesting. We got to meet the two girls who are obviously going to be important to the plot later, though Aure doesn't know that yet. So we met the first girl who seemed a bit more mature, more quiet, but she was able to tag down some big muscly dude like on her own. It's making her seem pretty tough and like self-reliant, but also not much of a talker. And we also talked to Arara, which turned out to be the girl who's kind of living in her own world in her head, and like kind of like what Okabe does in Steins Gate, but like worse, because I think she's a little more like into it than even Okabe was, so that'll be fun. But after evading just evading that whole situation, she's finally kind of found her way down, and she's finally caught her breath. So we're gonna see if she can maybe manage to actually find her apartment today. Other than that, I think once again we've just gone through the basics. So they're living in a kind of a dystopian style future where the whole world's under one government, and part of this government you get infused with nanobutton machines that give you a rating based on your just qualifications in life, the things you're shooting for, and your natural ability. And the higher your authority seal power is, the more strength you have, like literal strength. Like people are running around with effectively superpowers, I would argue. Some of the stronger ones can really do some pretty amazing things. But when you have no authority like she does, like Arara has, which is power level 5, she's pretty much like a normal person. But it's interesting how quickly the normal people are outshone because of these seals. Also, one thing is interesting, you also get like a kind of a picture on the back of your hand that kind of describes effectively what you do. And someone pointed out it's similar to cutie marks from My Little Pony, if you've ever participated in that at all. I actually have, with a family, and it gotta admit, as far as kids shows go, one of the better ones out there. But yeah, it's interesting. It's like if you took what was in My Little Pony and put it in real life, it doesn't seem as nice anymore, does it? It's like it was not applied to anthropomorphized horses. Also, there's like all these tips. I apparently missed reading the seals tip. I swear this does kind of look familiar, but let's see. Official name, authority power. So, we'll read this tip real quick, and then we'll jump right back into the story. Authorized power certificate produced but distributed by the government. The authorization seal is a current way the body melding nanomachine technology, the ultimate cause of success revolution, is employed. Seals are unconditionally distributed to anyone at birth, preschool age, and compulsory school age. Starting in middle school, everyone has to take an aptitude test to determine the seals they wear. Under the P3 law, the distributed authorization seal decides everything from the recipient's job and income to the place they live. Which is funny because then the sales pitch of this system is that, like everyone's where they should be, and yet they're still poor people, and there's obviously a tier system, so it's like it's not very fair. It's interesting because it's like it kind of comes across like the government's trying to be something more, I wouldn't call socialist, but like more communal, maybe somewhere between socialism and communism mixed together. I don't know, but it's obviously even failing at that. Like it's not even like a great example of that. It's almost, honestly, it sounds more like it's like a mix between communism and capitalism, ironically, because they still have very structured tier laws, and people get access to wealth based on their ability to contribute to the overall feeling of the company / world. But like there's so much inequality that's in the system. Like the system's it has the pretense of being equal, but it's absolutely not. It's a weird system. Anyway, having equipped the seal, you begin your school in a given date time. Each job receives pay from the federal government on the 25th of every month. Interesting. The seal is 2 to 5 centimeters in diameter with a graphical design on it. Generally, it's worn on the back of the wearer's dominant hand. When put on, the nanomachines in the seal dissolve into the wearer's skin and blend into the whole body, after which the seal looks like a slightly glowing tattoo that provides power unique to the wearer. Each seal has 2 primary effects on it: job capability correction and individual capability correction. Number 1, job capability correction gives you the right technique or powers to perform your job properly. For example, someone with no experience as a pastry chef is found out to have potential for it, JCC will supply them with the aptitude of sweets making A. Oh gosh, that's like not in a ranking system, which turns them into a specialist in the particular field. In some cases, job abilities are supplied depending the job. That's actually kind of interesting. So you can somehow have an innate talent for a job you've never done, and then it'll give you the ability to do that. So how does it determine you have a talent for it to begin with? And number 2, individual capability upgrade is literally something that reinforces an individual's capabilities, such as intellect, physical strength, and other abilities that belong to the individual. Jobs assigned by seal cannot be changed or renounced. The only exception is the opportunity given to particular individuals to take examinations for job change or class change. Interesting. I'm glad you got... Okay. Towards the end, that brought up some very interesting thoughts, so I'm glad we read that one, actually. Okay. So now we'll jump back into the storyline. There's a lot of, like, stuff going on, obviously, but we're going to focus more on Arara and see where she ends up kind of landing for this episode. Alright, once Arara was down from the rooftop, she found herself in an open square. She ran up in such a half trance that she never actually realized she was in the shopping mall. I keep stumbling on my words tonight. I'm sorry. I don't know what's up with me. She sat down on a bench, heaving a deep sigh. I feel like you might be in a cycle of pain right now. I don't know, she actually talked a lot more than she's talked to other people, so maybe she did find it easier. I kind of agree, though I have a feeling we're going to have a very similar encounter there. She stood up. Oh no! She's been found! The psycho appeared. She had yet to notice Aure, though. Oh, I do feel kind of bad, though. I'm sure she just wants a friend. Shuffle, shuffle. Aure hid under the bench. That's not very discreet. The girl walked over to the main street. Yeah, I've had that happen before. Climbing out from under the bench, Arara placed a hand on her non-existent chest in relief. Oh, hey! Talk about cold, narrator. And then... Whoa, what the fetch? What the heck? Literally is listed as a lolly. Really? Whoa, what is this? This looks weird. There's a little girl. She looked like she was still in lower grade. And she's wearing weird clothing. Like, it's like she's only wearing a sweater. What's happening? And she has a collar. Oh, what is happening? There she stood right in the middle of the square. This is weird. Surrounded by customers passing by. I don't like this. This is weird. On her own. Looks almost like a promotional video for some visual style band. She was holding something up in the air. And what the heck is happening? She was looking at something seemingly made out of glass, holding it up to the light and would pass through it. She was just standing there, looking like she was deep in thought. Are you for real? Do you really not know? It's the hottest thing these days. Even if that's true, live broadcasters keep popping up one after another all the time. Who can keep track of them all? I guess you're right, but this recent YouTubers have been given seals too. They're getting closer to going pro like nobody's business. Wait, but these recent YouTubers, is that supposed to be like, so YouTubers, I mean, it doesn't sound like a subtle reference to YouTubers, but yeah, they're giving like seals to be a YouTuber. That'd be interesting. Okay. I don't approve of the future system, but I'd love it if I just spontaneously had the ability to make YouTube videos perfectly well. But, yeah, I don't think I'd qualify for a seal. I don't know. This is just seriously, like, it brings up an interesting point. Like, I'd love to be successful. This would be really cool to be able to bring about. Like, I've talked about before how, if I ever were to have my channel take off, if I ever were to get to the point where I could pull in some kind of income somehow from this, and somehow be able to, I don't know, I think the income isn't even really the thing I would be interested in. I would be really interested to become a recognizable name in the genre. Like, if I were to be recognized in the visual novel scene, where people who create visual novels, who are fans of visual novels, like, who know who I am. And that way I could, like, work with promoting series, and I could maybe go out and have an opportunity to meet with, talk with, and maybe even work with people who make visual novels. I've also said that, like, someday it would be super fun if I ever had the resources to do things like to visit Japan, to kind of see some of the places that are highlighted in some of my favorite visual novels. Maybe even have an opportunity, like, I don't think this would ever happen, but I'd have an opportunity to maybe go out and meet people like voice actors or writers for these amazing stories that have had such a strong impact on my life. Like, that's what I would do if I became like a big YouTuber, which is really not going to happen. The visual novel, like, genre is pretty, it's niche, it's pretty small, tight-knit community. I don't even think there's any channels I can think of that do, like, really deep and in immersive dives into visual novels routinely that have more than a few thousand subscribers. Like, I just don't think it's a genre that's ever going to take off quite like that. Maybe it will. Maybe I can be a part of something new, and maybe I can help ride a new wave of popularity for visual novels. But you know what? That's not really what I'm here for. Like, that's not why I started this channel, and that's not why I continue to make videos. So I'd love it if this were a real thing in a way, like if I became popular enough in this regard. But you know what? It's funny, because, like, otherwise, I'm very happy for people who are successful on YouTube, and we should continue to promote that, because while YouTube's getting more and more restrictive in a lot of ways, it's still good to have people who can make content based on what they like and what their audience likes, and not beholden to a company. Not truly beholden to a company. Anyway, bam! Oh, the middle schoolers were so immersed in their internet-related chat that they ended up bumping into a certain lolly. Okay, what are you wearing? It's like nothing! Roll, roll, roll. The glass bead rolled over. What? I don't even know what I'm seeing. She desperately chased after it. Speaking of which, there was this thing on Lime yesterday. Lime. Is that... Oh, like Vine? Ooh. That seems a little dated then. Punt. One of the middle schoolers punted the glass bead. What is it acting? Yes, I'll ask right away. Yes, yes. Bounce. The bead hit the heel and flew up into the air. What is... Hey now, Taku. If you walk on the dirt, your 30,000 money shoes will get dirty. Smack, pass backwards. 30,000 money is a drop in the bucket. Whee! Wow. 30,000 for a 4-year-old. Bounce, volley, shoot. And into the mass of people it went, lost amid their many feet. What just happened? Man, this story is weird. Yet, would this be enough to make her give up? Leaning down, the girl began searching for the glass bead. Having a small body to begin with, she found herself rapidly absorbed into the crowd. Arue grew worried. Someone might step on the girl's hand or kick her back. But you noticed her. So anyway, alright. Oh, that's what the girl said. So anyway, that's definitely a false rumor. A big friend. There shouldn't be any little girls around this hour, so let's get out the coordinates for today's Mikatsu for a little girl. Game for little girls event. Mumble, mumble. Whoa. Well, that sounds creepy. Mommy, the man over there is always doing Mikatsu stuff. Come on, Mimi. It's not nice to point your finger. You cause trouble for him. I feel like I'm missing a reference there. No one had ever stopped to look at her. A tiny, scrunched up little girl desperately tried to find her missing bead. She's so weird, though. For a moment, Arara could see the girl's tiny little body in the midst of all those people. It was just like... Uh-oh. Arara had a flashback to her past self. 100 years ago, in an attempt to change the discrepant system, a group of people started a revolution against the entire world. At the beginning, it was the few against the many. Eventually, followers began to assemble from across the globe, and the revolution succeeded. The world was changed according to the P3 law. Aure's own position came to be as a result of that change. She left for the eastern capital in order to change herself. She wanted to change herself in order to help her own family, to become a functioning member of society. And so, Aure's own personal revolution began today. Yes, interesting. Like the souvenir jacket girl who saved her earlier. Around the girl's neck was a tag that read 27. She appeared to be a low-grade student. Okay, talks in the third person, wears weird clothes, oh boy. Her cute sleeves had been dirty from being slid across the ground. Aure's heart seemed ready to burst from all the anxiety. Oh, man, I get anxiety sometimes, but she's something else. Even though all she did was talk to a little girl. Flap, flap, flap. That must be her ear hood thing. The girl shook her cute sleeves. Okay, any luck? After a few minutes later... Tap, tap, tap. She trotted over to Arara. Upon closer inspection, Arara could see that it was a beautifully clear glass bead. Aside from the hole that passed the string through, there was nothing special about it. Interesting. I'm guessing that's an interesting way to phrase that, but I'm guessing it might be a translation type of thing. If anything, Arara actually felt grateful to the girl for helping her take another step forward in her own revolution. Arare raised her hand in parting before turning around. Prolonging the conversation any further would not have ended well for her. Arare opened her map and immediately froze in place. Maybe she can help you find your way. Residential area. Wow, okay. Oh, that worked out. Aww, that's kind of cute. Yeah, Arara being unmarked made her inferior to even elementary school students. Designer condo, Tabula Rasa. Tabula Rasa. Oh, that's right! Last week I remember sitting there, I was like, Tabula Rasa sounds familiar. What meaning does it have? Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Absolutely. It's one of the more interesting episodes of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I believe it's the one where Willow is like, she's become dependent on she's a witch, and she's become really dependent on her magic, even in her personal relationship. So like whenever they have a fight, her and her girlfriend, she would use a spell called Tabula Rasa, which would erase the memories of the fight, so that they would so she could just pretend like it never happened. But there's a time when her spell like goes way too powerful, and she ends up erasing everyone's memories for the whole of their entire lives, and it's so you to watch them kind of try and reinvent themselves. It's a really funny show. Great Buffy the Vampire Slayer, fantastic show, and that's a fantastic episode. Having never taken a tour of the place before, Aura's first reaction to the 14-story structure was to be thoroughly amazed. As one would expect from a freshly erected building, everything, from the walls to the entrance, was gleaming with 100% of their aesthetic potential. Yeah, actually, I kind of remember this a little bit. It wasn't 14 stories, but in college, I was renting out of like the poorest of the places you could. I didn't have a lot of money to work with. So I was in this older, kind of more run-down set of apartments with me and my roommates. However, we were paired up with another apartment for, like, they kind of planned weekly activities to help us kind of get to know other students. And almost like we would have like kind of like a pseudo family. We were encouraged to do activities every week and stuff with them. But we were paired up with a girls' dorm that would just been erected as a brand new building. So like we went from our squalor over across the street to this, like, I think it was about a 9-story building, but like all brand new. And it was really interesting to see like the disparity between the two. Aure let out a sigh of excitement. Yes. An outrageous misconception from a worthless Chuusotsu. Wait, what? Resting on top of the roof was a bluish-white object that looked kind of like poo. Ew. Oh no. That sounds a lot like Arara. Looked exactly like that object on top of the main office building of a certain legendary Japanese beverage company. I would be drawing a blank here. And if you guys happen to know what they're talking about, I would appreciate it. A legendary Japanese beverage company. I mean, the only beverage I'm aware of are those the sodas that come in the bottles where, like, you push in the top and it's like a little glass ball that drops in and you drink it. It's actually been so long since I've been able to have one, because like they used to sell it at a supermarket that I used to go to all the time back in Wisconsin, but here I haven't found anywhere that sells them. I can't think of the brand name, but it was definitely like a Japanese drink, so maybe that's what it is. The hallway of the floor 14. Dang, that's pretty high up too. 1401. Aure's new sanctuary. Honestly, there was more anxiety in her than genuine anticipation. She pointed towards the door marked with the number 1402. Oh, that's nice. For some reason, Aure began to short circuit. I don't think there's any parents here. She stuck her hand into her bag. Yeah, I didn't think so. Aure let out a sigh. She came to an abrupt realization. She's so silly. She was an all-natural good for nothing. Oh man, narrator's mean. Rustle. Aure held up a can of cookies. She had chosen a smaller version that wouldn't be in danger of going bad even if there weren't many people eating from it. The wrapping was something she did herself. She'd lost her touch a bit after becoming a Chuusotsu, so it took her a while to get it done, but she gave it her all nonetheless. And on that wrapping paper was... Oh yeah, her little emergency stress sketch. Oh, way to speak to her heart. Aure's heart made a large thump. Was it because the reality for being a Chuusotsu would inevitably wound this pure child's heart? Or was she simply surprised by hearing the phrase manga artist? Aure wasn't quite sure herself, but she decided not to think about it. Instead, she chose to seal her heart away by uttering the following.
は漫画家じゃないですよ。公務員を目指して奮闘中のしがない中卒です。
Something felt off, despite the fact that she said these words herself.
とにかくありがとうですよ。
Everything's a question with you, Kokoro. The girl made an adorable little bow, then opened the door to room 1202. 1402. What did I say? 1202? I am losing my mind! Bye bye. Don't say bye bye unless you know, like, if you want to see him again. The girl moved into her room. Then her head abruptly popped back out through the doorway.
お姉さんは優しい匂いがする。
Well, that's an interesting thing to say. Leaving Arue with those words, the girl pulled the silk back into her own room.
匂い?
Neighbor. Achievement unlocked. Arare sniffed at her own body.
ちゃんと風呂入ってるし、大丈夫だよね。
Yeah, yeah.
それにしても。
She stretched herself off and looked down the entranceway through the handlebars. How is she supposed to get inside?
こんなにハイエなマンション初めて見た。
Aure was born in a mountain village and raised in a harsh environment.
おやつは欲しいもを意味する言葉だと思って育ちました。
Oh, wow.
そんな私が都会でルームシェア。
Can you imagine if, like, snacks were just dried potatoes? Like, and obviously not potato chips. She's meaning, like, dried out potatoes. Oh, man. Breathe. Aure, breathe. Come on. We gotta get inside. Once again, anxiety and uncertainty made the nest in Aure's heart. She began trembling so hard that even standing on her own 2 feet proved a challenge.
確かここに。
She had already received her key. Oh, good. She froze stiff after pulling it out.
生まれて初めて知らない人と一つ屋根の下で暮らすんだよね。
Well, I wouldn't say that. She would be meeting her roommates for the first time. The company had decided not to reveal the identities of the other tenants until the beginning of the room sharing period.
自己紹介で構わないか心配。
Arare was already nervous. Still, being afraid now wouldn't help matters much. She'd already gotten this far. All she could do now was do or die trying.
よし。
Careful what you wish for. Alright, looks pretty nice in here so far. It's a big TV. Ooh.
一番乗り?
There wasn't anyone in the room.
はあ。
After unwittingly breathing a sigh of relief. Having calmed down, she took a look around the room. Excuse me.
今日から本当にこんな広い部屋で生活するんだ。
What's that thing there? It looks like a vending machine almost. A fresh smelling scent wafted through the air. Scattered around the room were vases of scented artificial flowers. They'd also provided furniture for the room. There was a TV, a refrigerator, a washing machine, and microwave. The gas lines and electricity were already turned on as well. Dang. You know what? It'd be really nice not to have to move in with much more than just your clothes. Everything had been set up for this monitoring session.
これだけついてノーマネーでフィニッシュ?
Yeah, I keep wondering what the catch is gonna be, if I'm honest. They said monitoring. I wonder if there's, like, cameras around in here or something. That was the idea. This condominium's rent was set at the all-time low price of nothing. The water, electricity, and gas utilities were also free. Even the living expenses were paid for by the company. Really? It's like they just give you food and stuff, too. They also provide free representative services for various applications. In return, they had over 20 application requirements. The most important ones were as follows. Any applicants who fall under the conditions will fall under the following conditions will be rejected. Number 1, any group applications. 2, male applicants. So no guys here. Any applicants who are at or over the age of 16 or under the age of 15. So you have to be 15. So Number 4, any applicants who have not graduated middle school. Any applicants who are currently enrolled in or have graduated from high school. Does that clear things up? Applicants who graduated middle school, were not attending high school, were not male, were exactly 15 years old. In other words, the applicants had to be a female Chuusotsu. In this new style designer condominium's extremely strange monitoring program. The only new residents were 15-year-old file? Of course, there was no need to pay rent.
なんか
That's weird. Like, why such specifics? This was really suspicious. I'm glad that everyone knows this. The odor of crime had started to waft from the back of the scent of the flowers. Oh no, this better not be human trafficking or I'll be very upset. And Arara, now immersed in a sea of criminal smells.
超綺麗なお部屋
Yeah. Like, it's like, there's gotta be a catch. There has to be. There was a certain airhead quality to Arare that felt like the result of her Chuusotsu status. Man, the narrator's mean.
あれ
After taking a look around the room, she suddenly noticed it.
なんだろうこれ
By the wall, there was a machine. It reached up to around Arara's head. It had a futuristic-looking liquid crystal screen. It seemed to be powered on, despite there being no visible plug. It had a series of buttons as well, as if awaiting someone's input.
ATM?
They have an ATM in their house. It didn't look like one, but the word written on the control button wasn't ATM.
メイトイ
Proposition.
それにこの画面のアメリカ語何なんだろうソルリンクかな
Hi.
ああそうそうリンクって書いてあるんだこれいやはやシールをなくしてからというもの横文字がどうも苦手になっちゃって困るんですよね
Yep. I like how when she hasn't been paying attention, she talks just fine.
もういっそのこと大昔の治安維持法の時代みたく言葉狩りでもしてくれた方が中卒に優しい世界が訪れるって思うくらいですよ
Uh-huh.
でもまあ結局それはそれで人間デブリの我々は漢字が読めないわけなんですけどねほんと頭が弱くなっちゃっても2桁の足し算もわけわかみですし
Wait. So because she didn't have her authorization seal, she can't read kanji, which is kind of important to Japan. And just doing basic math too. Yep, there she is. What? What's a yanpi? I don't know what a yanpi is.
ヤンピーって
Oh, I don't even know. Yeah. So she didn't know either.
ヤンキーピープル略してヤンピー
Yankee people? Is that American? And that usually, for us, that's like American. Like, especially Northern American specifically.
説明ありがとうでも私は別にヤンキーじゃ
Yeah, that's weird. What? Is that referring as an American?
どうしてこんなところにあなたはあの筋肉さんに地獄のマッスルミュージカルを強要されてるはずじゃ
It morphed into a muscle musical.
ミュージカルよくわからないけど筋肉の人なら案外いい人だったから話せば分かってくれたよ
Yeah, see, you seem fine. Very in control.
それじゃどうしてここに
Here it comes. I live here.
まさか
Save the girl. The Yanfi, whatever that means, gets into a pinch instead. Little girl runs. Cannot forgive the little girl. Finds her hideout. Say your prayers.
私を殺害しに来たんだ
Oh man.
どうしてそんな物騒なこと言うの今日からここに住む予定なんだ嘘ルームメイツ
Yep. And she's down for the count. Yep, down she goes. Why?
取り乱してしまっていと片付けない次第でありんす
Oh, and I'm sure it's just getting started.
まだ言葉遣いが変だよ
It is kind of weird. As Aure fell to her knees, performing an elaborate bow, the girl sat down across from her.
いやだって対人恐怖症気味の私がノーマルテンションで会話なんて到底不可能だし
Interesting. So, I mean, so this girl, we still don't even know her name. She seems very well put together. Like, she just seems, like, chill, responsible, and she can actually, like, take care of herself.
私ハチスカ小色横須賀から来たんだよろしくね
Koiro. Koryo. I'm guessing that's how you would say it. Koryo.
横須賀って昔アメリカ様が駐在していらっしゃったところでしたっけ？
She's like determined that this girl's American. To Aure, the image of Westerners were unconditionally superior to herself was pretty much engraved into her genes. Aww.
そこだよ。
どうしよう。話が続かない。
Yeah, well, it happens when both of you are kind of quiet. You're quiet because you're terrified. She seems just kind of quiet, but confident.
私も大概コミュ障だけど、この方も結構な口下手だよね。
Or she just doesn't feel like she has to talk every
イメー
second.
ジの話で申し訳ないんですけど、横浜とか横須賀ってやんちゃな人の二つ名でよく聞いたりしますよね。
Well, I wouldn't know.
二つ名ならあったよ。横須賀白ウサギっていうの。
The White Rabbit.
ですか。
Her excitement quickly cooled down.
二つ名を持ち合わせていらっしゃるし、やっぱりヤンピーだよね、このお方。シールのあるなし関係なく、戦闘力が小動物級の私が住む世界が違うようなこの人と一緒に暮らしていけるのかな。
I don't think you have a choice, Arara. Aww.
ところで、君の名前は？
はい。その、来た自己紹介噛んじゃダメ。
Don't choke. Oh, she's losing consciousness. Arara was already very much choking in her mind.
マリス川アルエです。
Oh my gosh.
噛んじゃった上に変声になって。もうやだ。
Arara, you got to figure this out. This is crippling anxiety. Turning bright red, Arara covered her face with her hands. This would always happen. The more effort she put into things, the stranger they all came out.
アルエ。
She raised her head.
いい名前だね。
Yeah. A small smile spread across. Oh, here we go. Kodigos. I'm pretty sure that's right. Kodigos.
嘘。あんなキモい声出したのに神対応。この人ならもしかして私でも。
Yeah.
アルエって呼んでいいかな？
はい。アルエでもコアッパでもゴミ虫でもどうぞお好きに呼んじゃってくださいませ。
Dang, girl. She really feels justified in seeing herself as being like a trash bug. That's terrible.
それじゃあ、アルエ。
Aww. She's so sweet.
それじゃあハチスカさん、今後ともよろしくお願いします。
よろしくね、アルエ。
やっぱり平気そう。口数が少ないから何考えてるか分かりにくいけど、
So
話しやすい。
I'm kind of getting this feeling now, like there's definitely, I know we have two kind of animal references, like there's the lolly, literally described her as a lolly girl who's like very similar to a dog, like dressed similar with like the collar and like the paw print eye patch and like the paw print clothes, and then talks about smell. And then we have she's kind of her name's like the White Rabbit. So I wonder if like there's going to be like animal themes for most of these girls.
ところで、アルエ。
なんでございましょう。
さっきアルエが見てた機械。
Yeah.
機械。
She looks back over at the thing set up in the corner of the living room.
ああ、なんでしょうね。私にもよくわからないです。まだ部屋に来たばかりですし。
ATM じゃなさそうだね。
Yeah, I wonder what it is too.
見た目はそれっぽいんですけどね。あ、もしかしたらこれがモニター募集の内容なのかも。
当社新製品を日常的に使用し、これの感想を提出だっけ。
Use our company's new products daily. Submit your thoughts on it. Okay. Well, what kind of products are we talking about here?
そう、それです。
でも、一体何の機械なんだろう。
下手にいじらない方がいいですよ。 壊しでもしたら下手すると弁償なんてことになるかもしれないです。
Yep. She pushes the red button.
わあ、早速スイッチングだ。
ごめん。押したら何が起こるのかって考えたら
I kind of agree.
ワクワクしてきちゃって。
I wouldn't be able to resist poking around on it. I mean, it's unlikely you could break it.
まあお気持ちはわかりますよ。中卒は楽しそうなことには逆らえない。
They turn to look on the screen. They seem to be loading something.
何が出てくるのか。
Yeah. Just then? Oh, what the fetch?
呼ばれて飛び出て、じゃじゃじゃのジャーンス。
Why are you dressed? What is happening? What is this?
チェックしてプロミス。ホロちゃん参上っすよ。
That's a hologram. Okay, I guess I can't fault people for wanting to make a very interesting hologram.
さあ、いよいよ初仕事の時が来たっす。マニュアル世代らしく、覚えたことを教科書のようにしゃべくるっす。
Uh-huh.
って、あれ？ご契約者のお嬢様？
She's having a heart attack.
あ、わかった。強力な戦闘民族を前にして威圧感に飲み込まれた地球人の真似っすね。
Oh dear. What?
違うと思うけど。
画面から娘っ子が飛び出てきただ。
There goes that dialect again. Aure has unconsciously started speaking in a dialect.
アメリカンボディのフロリダ娘が出てきただよ。
Florida girl? A Florida girl? Like, a what? Grovel.
あるね。どうして頭を下げるの？
だって相手はアメリカ様ですよ。黄色人種の我々とではあらゆるスペックが違うんですよ。
Oh gosh. That seems very racist. For reference, I don't know. I would never ever refer to anybody as like just seems awful. We'll move on from that.
ホロはホログラムっすよ。仮想現実キャラっす。
Intelligent
現実
artifact.
仮想キャ
Interesting.
ラ？まあいいや、どっちでもっす。ホログラム？はいっす。株式会社クオリック製 SLO2124 ソウルディスペンサーソウルシステム契約者専用応対ホログラム型インターフェース HRO013 っす。
Okay. First off here, lots of letter and acronyms, but a soul dispenser.
ごめんね。覚えられなかった。
わかってるっすよ。お嬢様方は中卒っすもんね。記
Ow.
憶力の方はそりゃダメっすよ。16ビットが赤色山っす。だから相談役のホロとだけ覚えてもらえれば OK っす。
16 bits is kind of mean.
さらっとディスられた？
Yeah, she did.
あれ？
Shuffle.
どうかした？
いやー、お一人姿が見当たらないなーって。全員揃ったところで自動で起動されるようプログラムされてたはずっすが。
Well, that's our fault.
この赤いボタンを押したら。
そうなんすか。呼び出しボタン押しちゃったんすか。もう早とちりっすね。
It's more about being curious.
それであなたは何者なんですか？
After learning she wasn't human, Arue said they felt to touch Boulder.
だから相談役っすよ。まあ初回に限りは案内役っていう役目もプログラムされてるんすけどね。
Hello, can you put on like some pants, please?
案内役って部屋の紹介とか？
まだ人数も揃ってないみたいっすけど、まあいいか。
Wait,
早く帰ってテレビ見たいし。
is she just acting human or is this thing actually alive?
ではいろいろ説明していくっすよ。メモの準備はいいっすか？
You know what? Actually, maybe we should just stop here. I mean, we could go a little longer, but we've already been going for a while, and I think if we're going to get like a lot of new information, maybe we should save that for next time. So I think we're going to go ahead and hit the pause button here. So what a lot of interesting developments. And we've met two very, very crazy, interesting people. There's the lolly girl who looks kind of scared. Like her just character design is... It's unique, I guess. I wouldn't say much more than that. It's very... Yeah, unique. It's the best. It's probably the best word for it. I'm curious to see where that's gonna go, and like learning more about her and Hollow here, which, like I said, I mean, very fan servicey, but if she's an artificial intelligence, artificial hologram designed by somebody, kind of. I mean, that's kind of what you get when you make people artificially, but still. Alright, this really took a turn into wacky street this turn. This episode really is, it's interesting. I don't know what to make of it. It's very, like, overwhelming, I think is the right word for it. I think it'll get into a groove next time, but I think the character designs really have been blowing my mind this time. It's like, it's very... interesting choices that they've made as far as art directions go. Also, like I said, kind of mean. The narrators kind of mean, and then they're very self-deprecating. I hope we get to see them kind of grow, especially Arue. I think she needs to get more confidence, and hopefully we'll be able to see that. But hey, like, she's got to make a journey. That's part of a story, so it makes sense that she's not really in the greatest of places to begin with, especially considering her past. But anyway. Do you guys have any thoughts about this episode? What do you think about some of the references that were made? Oh my gosh, it just does not seem right to be referencing to somebody like of Asian descent by a color. That just seems, I don't know. It just seems very, very like not so much inappropriate, but like it heralds a time of discrimination in our past, and so it can be a bit of a touchy way to refer to people. So I'm hesitant to even like repeat it, honestly. But hey, the more you know, I suppose. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode, and once again, thank you for joining me on my Fridays. You know, this is a bit less of a mainstreamy type of game, and so I'm interested to see what it's going to say, especially because the political discussion. Not so much like actual political on like what's going on in real life, but like some of the ideas they're tossing around is really interesting to discuss and think about. So I look forward to hearing some of your ideas about like what we've discussed today about how the society works. But yeah, well, I'll get to that later, and next week we'll continue this journey and kind of hopefully get a better understanding of what the heck this whole like observation program is all about. So thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much for joining me, and as always, until the next video you watch me or whatever to see me in next, I'll see you there.